Oh,
Playing you up.
oh, it's live now.
Well, I brought my charging cable. I needed to charge it there, but I didn't need to.
Come on, 3 on, get a sharing, guys. I'm in Heywood, Rochdale. Central point for the 3 girls grooming scandal. We've been past one of the shops and we're going to try and find the other one. But so, I'm here with Dorothy. Dorothy, turn round and say hello.
Hello. Oh, can you see me? Hello, everyone.
Dorothy's come down with me today and we're plugging PAGUK Billy's demo on the 3rd of February. It's a Saturday and we're in Rochdale Town Centre. Now, also, Billy's going to be running for Member of Parliament in the next by-election in Rochdale, so we're going to need help, leafleters, door knockers, anything like that. I will get a link to some kind of fund to fund him. Besides a 500 quid entrance, he's got to pay for his leaflets. But in a by-election, if I'll just stop here a sec, Dolly. So, in a by-election, why is it not good? I thought the picture looks all right. Or do you mean me thumbnail? I could have done one, but I did it last night. But thank you for that, George. So I'm in Heywood, guys, which was a focal point of 3 girls grooming scandal. We've seen everything come on the news now. And you know what? What am I going to tell you? That me and other people still think it's going on in this area, believe that or not. If you don't believe it, there is a lot of evidence pointing towards that. And it's not over. And the thing is, your local councillors in Heywood know what's going on. Have any of them spoke out? If you watch the 3 girls scandal and other videos we've got, they knew what was going on and never did nothing. I can't remember the exact councillors who were here at the time. I have done a video where I did name some of the serving councillors at the time. But we're in Heywood, not far from the Darnhill area where I went and called out a shop where they were threatening Indigenous kids in the area, beating people up who had disabilities, and one girl claimed she was sexually assaulted in the shop. And when I pulled her about it, have you done nothing? Has it been reported to police? She said that her dad didn't want the trouble. That's what he said. And I raised my voice at the girl. I had it all on film, this, but my last Facebook got took down because I were obviously speaking too much of the truth. I know, mate. Well, I'm doing a live and can't always ask for a good signal when I'm doing a live, especially somewhere like Heywood. So I've come to a bit of an open area. But no, you're right, George. I need to do a bit better and I'll try. But yeah, so we've been past one shop, which was called Tasty Bites. And that was one of the ones I highlighted. Now, when the scandal broke, so-called far-right groups came up to Heywood. Now, when you read the papers, they say, oh, the inflaming racial tension. If these issues had been dealt with in the first place, then them groups would not have come to Heywood. This is the same in Oldham. After the riots, lots of so-called far-right groups came to Oldham, but they wouldn't have come if the council had dealt with the issues. And if we look at the 2001 Ritchie report, that is exactly what this said. The council had not dealt with these issues ever. So, and racial tensions were rising in the town, and it ended up with a riot. And also, my dad went in the early 90s to the council and told them about this, and they didn't listen to him. And when the Ritchie report come out, it was blamed on the things that my dad and other people have said to the council. So you don't blame groups outside of Oldham. What you do, you blame the councils. In Rochdale, you blame the councils. You don't blame the people for coming out and protesting. You blame the councils, because that's who covered it up and not said nothing. And we're after these people in the there's still people working in Oldham and Rochdale Council who we're going to go for. Yeah. We're going to go for, as soon as we get your names and the evidence, you're going to be called out as scumbags. And it's the same in Rochdale. So the 3rd of February, we're at the Riverside Centre, right next to the bus station and the main tram stop. There is no trains running, but if you live in Manchester, you can get there on the tram. You can get there on the tram. So get on the tram and head to Rochdale on the 3rd of February. Bring everyone, bring all your family members. After that, we will be probably walking up to the PAGUK shop on Yorkshire Street, and for brews and a rest and a relax and that. So that's the 3rd of February, Saturday the 3rd of February. Please come. If you want to bring your please come. We want people to turn up. We need support. Billy needs support. Again, he's running for Member of Parliament. So, I mean, the demo's important, but I think the Member of Parliament is even more important. He's going to need donations towards his cost, his leaflets. In a by-election, if you pay for your leaflets, Royal Mail deliver them for free. So Billy's got to get 40,000 leaflets designed, and then the Royal Mail will deliver them for free. So I haven't got a direct funding link to Billy yet. I have put my PayPal up, but forget that. As soon as I've got a GoFundMe for Billy, then I'll put it online and I'll be touting for it. So save your money, please. Thank you, Jules Citizen. Jules, thank you. Again, like I said, the so-called far-right groups only came here because of the inadequacies and the failures of the council and the members of parliament, because they all knew and nobody did nothing. That's what winds me up more than anything, is everybody knows what's going on and nobody does nothing. It just absolutely boils me blood. It absolutely boils me blood. So at the time, a lot of youth came out and they started smashing up some of the shops down here. And, you know, I'm not blaming them. I'm not blaming it. It's all of a sudden come out. It's all of a sudden come out that the police failed and the councillors knew. What do you expect people to just sit in their houses and do nothing? Hundreds of kids turned out. I think it was 2012 or 13, and they smashed up Tasty Bites and Balti House, where these things have been going on. And I pointed up to Oldham. I showed you all the shady flats and apartments above a lot of these shops. I've done videos round here in Heywood quite a few times. But we'll cross over and then we'll walk up the main high street again. So yeah, we're in Heywood, guys, and we're touting for Billy's demo, 3rd of February at the Riverside, the tram station in Rochdale, the bus station in Rochdale. one of these was one of the things. I don't know which one it is. Go Greenwoods. Right, so there it is. It's that model man hairdressers. That's what it is now, right next to Greenwoods. That used to be the Balti House. That's where some of the trouble was, right there. Right there, the modern man hairdressers. Look, there's an apartment or rooms at the top. But obviously it's an hairdresser's now, but that was the Balti House, I think it was. We're going to walk up and we'll take you to Tasty Bites. So Big Johnny and Dorothy, we've come down to Heywood. To people knew, councillors knew, the police knew, and they all knew what was going on, and no one did anything. Nobody did anything. It's just sickening. I wouldn't be here if people would have done something about it, but they didn't. And we know this. And yet you lot in Heywood, you still vote Labour, you still vote Conservative, and you still vote Lib Dems. Don't forget, the Lib Dems were nearly in control of the council back in the day, which allowed Cyril Smith, the nasty fat piece of lump of rubbish, to abuse kids from Knoll View Home, white boys from Knoll View Home. And lately, there was an investigation into it, and in the investigation, they found out that the council leader at the Tucson did no. Hadn't conspired via intervention 100%. I 100% agree with you. Sorry that me. See, have I gone past that other shop now? Weatherspoons, I'll consider Wi-Fi and I'll do the stream round here. I'm sorry about that. Come on, get sharing, Big John. Wood down was where Northwest. I'm just going to stand here, Dolly. So yeah, now I'll see you this side. So we're in Heywood. There's the Weatherspoons, guys. So down there we've got Tasty Bites and the Balti House, where the abuse was, where the papers named that the abuse was going on. And a couple of years ago we came down because there'd been trouble with a kid, 2 kids at an ice cream parlour. They complained, and then the guy started swearing at them. So and it ended up, we had a demo, we had about 50 kids come out, and we had the parents of these kids come out. And the guys have followed these kids, and then when he's got to a certain address, there was witnesses for this, he's put his fingers in a gun position saying that's going to happen to you next time you come round. And they beat upon these 2 15-year-olds, and this will grow. And so we protested one night. And then Northwest tonight obviously branded us names and stuff like that, but we was in our right to protest for it. You know, we was absolutely in our right. Anyway, it's freezing cold. We're in Heywood. It's fucking freezing. It's bright though, and there's no rain, so that's a good bonus. But yeah, there's my email. My name's John Lawrence, National Housing Party candidate in Oldham. If you want to join our party, contact us. If you want to run as a councillor, contact us. So we won't want people to stand up and run as councillors. And I've got my eye on a few people around the Heywood area who are good for that position. And I mean, voting-wise, UKIP did fairly well around this area. With building up to getting second places in the elections, but they've gone downhill now and they're not here no more. But there is a gap coming up in voting. There is going to be a political void coming up, and we will fill it with the National Housing Party candidate. So we're in Heywood, guys. Come on, share stream. I've only got 11 on, I should have 50. We're doing a demo 3rd of February in Rochdale for Billy PAGUK. And we're going to be reading out names of guilty people. I'm going to be talking about MPs, Lords, councillors, the political parties, the Lib Dems, Labour and Tories have all had convicted paedophiles in their parties who've been covered up. The last one was in Wakefield, and he got ended up getting convicted of abusing a boy. But while he was charged, he put this guy on a child safeguarding panel in the council. Lord Ahmed in Rotherham. Lord Ahmed ended up bumming 2 boys, him and his brother. It took years to get him to court. Even before that, he'd been done for harassing women and stuff like that. Lord Ahmed was the first Muslim lord in the UK, and covered it up that much that by the time he finally got to trial, he's very ill and stuff like that. But people knew for years. And in a meeting when they were going on about child sexual exploitation, he turned round, Lord Ahmed. Lord Ahmed, that's one of the abuse girls. I'm sure that's Sam, innit? Yeah. He turned round and said, don't blame the taxi drivers. That's what he said in a public meeting. It came out after the Rotherham and the Jays report that the taxi drivers were an integral part of the grooming gang scandal. And that's what he said in a meeting with the chief inspector and everyone else. There was people arrested and just let go after abusing 13-year-old girls in Rotherham. No doubt that has happened in Oldham as well. Can't give you a specific case, but that's what it was for the 3 girls scandal. The councillors and the police branded them all as prostitutes and druggies. That's what they did in Rochdale. That's what they branded 13-year-old girls. Druggies and prostitutes. You couldn't make it up. You couldn't make it up, guys. Come on, we'll go on that side of the road and we'll turn round. So was that Sam then? Yeah, was it Sam? Yeah, I think she is, yeah. So yeah, we're in Heywood, guys, on the high street, outside the Wetherspoons. Get the clock in there, just behind the thing. So let me tell you. So Rochdale, they branded the girls druggies and prostitutes. That's what they did. That's what they said. That was the councillors, the police, and I haven't got any specific case, but I do know that parents were intimidated into silence in the Rochdale area. Parents were threatened. These kids was threatened. They was threatened that they'd go to jail. They'd lose their family and their parents and all stuff like that. That's what happened. And the thing about it, nobody said anything. None of the councillors stood up for the right thing. Them shady, two-faced councillors, and you lot still vote them in. You lot still vote them in. People in that pub will still be voting Labour, even after the Labour councillors didn't say nothing and branded girls prostitutes and druggies. If I remember correctly, if I remember a Labour councillor's name around here, Jackie Bestwick, I think it is, Darnhill area, which I think is West Heywood. She never said anything. None of the councillors said anything. Come on, guys, get sharing. Come on, Come on, I'm in Heywood. We're plugging Billy's demo on the 3rd. And we've just been past Tasty Bites and Balti House, where abuse well. We'll walk up the street a little bit. Oh. Look at them looking when they yeah, it's back on now. Bit of an open area, yeah.
We've got a bit of sun, get a warm one.
I know. Carrying a fallen comrade there. So we're in Heywood, guys. So just on junction of the main street. Further down there, you've got Tasty Bites and the Balti House that were highlighted in the 3 girls grooming scandal. We had hundreds of kids and young adults pour onto the streets and smash them 2 shops up at the time. And then, because of the councils and the councillors and the police not dealing with it, we got the so-called far-right groups coming up here, so-called. Right now, I say so-called because I don't believe in words like far-right and things. I just don't believe in them, me. So, yeah, but please, come on, get sharing, guys. Big John's here, live in Heywood. I should have a better stream now, and I'm going to get my stick out a bit more. So we're on Heywood High Street, guys. I will do a couple of separate videos that I can upload onto TikTok and that after I've done this live. But again, John Lawrence National Housing Party, me and Dorothy Lord have come down to Heywood today. We've got a demo on the 3rd of February. So remember, guys, your local councillors knew, the police, everyone knew what was going on, and no one did nothing. And the big thing in Rochdale that's been said many times is that they didn't do anything because we were afraid of upsetting minority communities, and that that equals, the other name for that is political correctness, which I'm totally not with. I disagree with. And if someone's done something wrong, they should be arrested, charged, convicted on the same grounds as everyone else does. And we shouldn't ignore just because they're a different colour or religion. It's wrong, that. That's why we got into such a mess in the UK, because a lot of our councillors won't say nothing. The white councillors especially will not say nothing because they're afraid of being branded with the R word. And them kind of words. So, and that was one of the big things in the Rochdale grooming scandal, unfortunately. And it's the same thing going on in Oldham. A lot of the councillors knew what was going on, but they won't say anything because they're afraid of upsetting the minority communities in Oldham. And it's sickening. It's sickening. For that, tens of thousands of, mainly 80% of the people abused in grooming gangs are white. 80%, guys, 80%. And that's come off someone who I know who works with social services. 80% of those groomed to do with grooming gangs are white. And it's practically, that is a lot. 80% out of 100 is an absolute lot. And that's what goes on, guys, and it goes on for the sake of political correctness. We don't want to upset the minority communities because they're a different colour or religion. Oh, so that means we have to accept that their behaviour comes in. If police had pulled their fingers out, we won't be in such a mess now, because people wouldn't abuse kids because they know they're getting locked up. What happens in a lot of these cases, well, the guys will get found guilty, but when they go to court, they go, no, not guilty. That's what they said, not guilty. So that means a trial's got to come. You'll hardly ever find anyone related to a grooming gang going guilty on the first go. It just doesn't go. And the proof I can give you to that is that I've been to dozens of court cases where they've gone not guilty. That's what I can tell you myself. I've seen it myself. It's a lovely blue Oh, right, yeah, it's the sky. Couple of blue dots you can see, just a bit of a gap in the clouds. It is cold. We won't be lasting long, I don't think. Come on, guys, get sharing. Nobody's sharing me streaming. You should be. So we're in Heywood, guys. We have actually just seen Sam, is it not? We've just seen Sam, who was the main focus of the Oldham child sexual exploitation scandal. She just shouted mine and Dorothy's name, waved on the way past, and Dorothy confirmed it was Sam. So, and I mean, Sam's seen me around. She knows that I shout out. Hopefully she might say something online that she did see me in Heywood. But yeah, I'm in Heywood, guys, which was a focal point of the 3 girls grooming scandal. It's all in the news. Big John's here. Big John's telling you that it's still going on in this area. Big John's telling you that we've still got people working in shops around here that are probably illegal immigrants. I'm telling you that right now. When I went to Darnhill, the shop there, the locals confirmed to me that some of the men, one of the locals got in touch from me in Heywood, give me evidence that these guys were working between several shops between here and Liverpool. He showed me the evidence. He tried to go to the police at the time for whatever reason, and it ended up he got beat up and then arrested. That guy got beat up and arrested. He wasn't. He was just trying to call them out for what they were, and the guy ended up getting targeted, beat up, and then arrested off the police. And that happened in Darnhill area. And I spoke to the guy over a period of 18 months about this, and I even met him. And he showed me his evidence and stuff like that. And I don't not doubt what he was saying was 100% correct. So the particular shop on Darnhill, there was guys working between that shop and a few other shops from here as far as Liverpool and Leeds. And he knew that some of them were even citizens who were illegals. He tried to go to the police. It ended up him getting beat up and his address targeted. And that was in the Darnhill area. And like I said, I talked to the guy for over 18 months and I met him as well. So I protested that shop, and that's where I found out a mixed race girl come up to me. She said, look, I've heard what you've been saying. I went in that shop and tried groping me. And I said, well, did you not say anything? What about your mum and dad? Well, I told my dad, but he didn't want the trouble of getting involved with the police. I raised my voice at the girl and said, you have to do it. Nobody's allowed to touch you. Nobody can do that. And next time you must tell the police or something like that. So that's Darnhill, just less than a mile or so away from here. So I'm in Heywood, guys, the area of the 3 girls scandal. There were 2 shops highlighted, a Balti House and Tasty Bites, which both got attacked and smashed up. But yeah. Thank you, George. But yeah, so Big Johnny and I'm Heywood, Rochdale, focal point of the 3 girls scandal, and I've just walked past the ex-shop called Tasty Bites and the Balti House, where it was highlighted that the girls were took to them places. And there's all shady-looking flats and that above these shops and all that, and it's dodgy, man. It's dodgy. I pointed these out in Oldham, and that's just 2 of the shops, but other people think there's more, about half a dozen shops on Heywood throughout the high street where it were going on. What else can I tell you? I can tell you that girls from Oldham were trafficked here, and we know that girls as far as Cumbria were trafficked down to the Rochdale area at the time of that 3 girls scandal. What else do we know? There was 9 convictions, and talking with Billy, PAGUK, 9 convictions of 9 men, and that I think, and other people think, that there were hundreds of men involved, hundreds of men from Rochdale, Oldham, all around the area, Leeds, Cumbria. Hundreds of men were involved, and only 9 got convicted. 3 of them were supposed to get deported. They've given out the Pakistani, they've discarded the Pakistani passports. They're living in the same place where they were. One guy, a delivery driver, passed one of the rapists, bumped into his victim in the Asda. Another one had delivered a takeout to an house, and the victim opened the door and took the takeout. So that's what we're faced with. These guys don't even get like pushed out of the oh, we've got family and all that lot. One of them even said he hasn't done anything that bad. That's what he said to the court. We can't even deport these 3 guys now. They've handed in the Pakistani passports. It's cost the taxpayer £2 million already. £2 million already to pay for their court fees. It's cost the taxpayer £2 million, and they're put back in the area where they committed all these crimes, just left to go about normal. I don't care whether they've got family or not. If they had dual citizenship, they should have been deported instantly. This even went to at the time, what's she called? Priti Patel. It even went to Priti Patel, and she did nothing. She did nothing. Suella Braverman hasn't done anything. I think Suella though is a bit tied up. I like Suella, but she's tied up with political correctness and the conforms of the Conservative Party. That's what she's tied up with. If she was an independent, she'd wipe them out in the Court of Lords. But anyway, we're in Heywood, guys. We're going to go over to the Kings in a minute. Have a pint and a drink before we set off home. Me and my mate Dorothy. Yeah, Dorothy's come out. Dorothy the whistleblower. Oldham Council's most hated person on the second most hated person on the list. First one's Raja Amia. Second person, Dorothy, because she never gives in. Dorothy the whistleblower. So yeah, we're in Heywood, guys. We've had a few beeps already. I think that's people who probably do know who I am. And I have been down here several times over the past few years. But we're holding a demo the 3rd of February, Central Rochdale. Central Rochdale at the Riverside, which is at the bus station and the tram lines. There is no trains on that day, but if you live in Manchester, you've no excuse. You can get on the tram or the bus and get down to Rochdale. Give us your support. After that, we'll go through the town centre talking to people. That's what we do every time we're here. We'll go up talking to people. People are holding banners. We hand out leaflets and we tell everyone in the town centre what's going on. Pure Nomad. Good on you, Dorothy and Raja. Yeah. I mean, I'm not Raja's favourite person, but what he says is true. Everything he puts out has been bang on, and he's been attacked off the council. The last time he did a video outside the Central Mosque. The next day he got arrested and kept in for 12 hours and let go. So what I did, I went down and did a video outside the Central Mosque, and I'll tell you what, I said a lot worse things than what Raja said. Nobody arrested me. No police or anything. Nobody comes for Big John. Oh, thank you, Pure Nomad. Honestly, it's the same. I know that, John. I still respect him. So do I.
Yeah.
Every bit of information Raja's put out has been bang on. He's put out stuff that nobody else would have been able to get. I've never doubted the stuff that he's put out. I just doubt his reasons for doing it and the attitude that he is. But I've never doubted anything he's put out. I've even took that and then used that stuff myself. And this is what we are in this game. If we fall out with someone, even though they're telling, if we fall out with someone over something, even though they're telling the truth, we won't listen to them. And that's wrong. That's why we're so broken up, as Dorothy just said. That's why we're not together. We need to be more together. Yeah. But Big John, Dorothy Lord are in Heywood, and we're plugging Billy's demo on the 3rd of February, Saturday the 3rd of February next week at the Riverside Centre, which is at the tram station in Rochdale and the bus station in Rochdale. So get there. We're not bothered about no one being in the council. What we want to do, we want to start talking to the people in the town centre. I'm sure Billy will have some leaflets to hand out, and then we can go telling everyone what's going on. And every time we go to Rochdale, we do end up talking to hundreds of people, so that's good. That's what we want. We want to raise awareness. Billy's running for Member of Parliament in the by-election coming up. So we're going to support him. He's not a member of my party, but I've known Billy now 7 years. I can't fault any of the stuff he's done, and he is trying as hard as anyone else to do the right thing, and he's making waves in Rochdale. Let me just tell you something he did. He targeted the taxi ranks. He went introducing himself to all the bosses of the taxi ranks and said, look, if we find anyone who's not registered, who's attacking people in cars, you're going to get shut down. And he's cleaned up the taxi areas in central Rochdale because of doing that. This is his fault. He hasn't threatened anyone. He's just said the right thing. If anyone's caught in your taxis, they ain't got, they're not proper drivers, which that was a big thing at the time. People driving taxis who weren't taxi drivers. That was a big thing in the Rochdale thing and Oldham thing. And he went to them companies, introduced himself to the boss, told them what he did, and said, if we catch you, we don't want to see taxi drivers with no licenses and all that. And he cleaned up the taxis in central Rochdale. He cleaned up them taxi ranks in central Rochdale. The taxi ranks have been an integral part of the grooming gangs in whatever town you go to, Telford, Rotherham, Oldham, Rochdale, across Leeds, Bradford, Wakefield. The taxi ranks, guys, the taxi ranks. But John Lawrence here, we've done 42 minutes. We're going to go now, me and Dorothy. I think we're going to head to the King's, which is the looks like the veteran pub, and we're going to have a drink in there, and then we'll get home. But thank you very much for joining us on this cold, windy day in Heywood, Rochdale. 3rd of February, guys. There certainly is pure nomad. There certainly is. We need to clean them up. That's what I mean. If I end up becoming a councillor in Oldham, I'm going to do the same that Billy did. I'm going to go to the taxi ranks, introduce myself, and say, look, make sure all your taxi men are up to date. If we find that they're not, then we're going to complain and get you shut down. Simple as. And as a councillor, I'll have more power to do stuff like that. And they have to listen to me, especially when I've got concrete evidence. John Lawrence, National Housing Pie, Heywood. Thank you very much.